Alright guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about Kubernetes Secrets. So basically Kubernetes Secrets is a way to save your sensitive information like database credentials as secrets, and then you can actually avoid exposing like plain text passwords using this method. So even though it is available, it is not the best security solution. So you don't want to solely rely only on the secrets. You want to use your TLS authentication and vault and stuff like that if you want true security. But I'll show you how you can use secrets. If it comes to it, then you have to use it. Okay, first thing I want to show you is actually like how to create secrets using manifests or YAML files. So let me actually go to my Kubernetes cluster. Let me show you one of the manifest files I have. It's basically how you create secrets. So you name it, and then you got you have the data. The data is basically a key value pair, and if you're wondering what this is, it's basically a base 64 decode of the password value. So what I mean by that is, if you try to take this alphanumeric string, and if you do the base 64 decode, so basically it decoded my alphanumeric string into the plain text password. And if you want to do the reverse, it's basically very similar. So you want to do the encode or masking, so that is actually the alphanumeric equivalent, encoded equivalent string, right? So that's what I'm plugging in here, and this is actually the key. So it's a key value pair. A secret is always a key value pair. Okay, and then if I apply this YAML file, so you can just create the secret like that. And if you just look at, if you run the describe command, it shows that you have a secret like this, but it doesn't show the password itself. Okay, so then moving on to the next thing. So this one is like where you use this keyword called data. That's the section where you are actually listing all the secrets. But let's say like you don't want to do that, you want to put the plain text value itself of the password or any value in your YAML file, then you can use another keyword called string data. So let me show you how that looks. Let me clear this a little bit. So you have the string data, and then here you have the key, and the value is just the plain text, right? So you can just apply this YAML file and see if that works. Yep, that also works. So, and then if I describe again, it shows something very similar to what we saw before, right? It shows the DB username but not the password. Okay, so this is another way of doing this. So let me show you how you can actually use kubectl to create secrets as well. So kubectl command could look like this. So here I'm using an option called from literal. There's another way called there's another way which is using from file option. So we'll take a look at that later, but let's actually run this command where we are actually creating a secret called database creds, and it's of type generic. And if you're wondering what other types are there, so it's basically opaque. So let me list all the secrets in my Kubernetes cluster, and that will show all the secret types, at least most of what I use commonly. So there's one called security account type, which is created when you're creating a security account, service account. And there's one called docker config, which is basically created when you need to use a private repository or a private registry. And opaque is basically what I've been just showing you, right? I use generic over here. It's basically the type opaque. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run this command, and that should create another secret with couple of key value pairs. One is username and the value for it is root, and then the other key value pair is this. So now let's see actually how you can map a secret to an environment variable that is inside a container. Okay, I want to show you this MySQL YAML file. Basically, sometimes when you're creating pods or deployments, you want to set an environment variable inside a container, and you want to populate that variable using a value that comes from a secret. So in this case, I have a secret called MySQL root password. I'm going to bring the value from that particular secret. And if you take a look at that secret, there's a key value pair, and the key is MySQL root password, right? So that's what is going to be used. So let me go ahead and create this MySQL pod, and if I attach to this MySQL pod and then list the environment variables using the env command, you can see that this MySQL root password is set as environment variable, and then the value basically came from my secret actually. Okay, so the next one is when you need to set multiple environment variables, right? And then you want to bring these variables from secrets again, but instead of mapping a variable to a secret value one by one, you can actually just bring all the keys from your secret into your container as environment variables. Okay, so for that you use a keyword called environment from, and then you just reference the secret that you want to use. So I just created this database credentials secret, which contains two key value pairs, username, root, and password, whatever. So let me actually go ahead and create this pod, which is somewhat like this. So let's look at the file I have in my Kubernetes cluster. So if I do a kubectl apply of that, so I'm creating another pod. So I'm going to attach to that pod again and basically print the environment variables. And then you can see that these two are basically key value pairs that came from my database credentials secret. Okay, so that's another way. And finally, if you sometimes need to use a configuration file like this, so let me show you how it looks. So this is a sample configuration file with more key value pairs like API URL, username, password. You know, this kind of thing might exist in a REST API service. So if you want to actually just consume this file, you want to actually make this file available in your pod, you could actually create a config map. But config map does not actually mask or encode this information, so it might be like easily visible to all the users. So you want to actually like hide it as a secret, then this is what you should do. So I'm going to use either this kind of YAML file, or you can use a kubectl command like this, and then you can load this config file as secret into a secret. Like in this case, actually I'm calling this secret a API secret basically, right? So let me create that, and then if I show you how it looks, you have that. So I have another manifest or YAML file. It basically looks like this. So I'm creating a volume called API secret, and the volume is actually based on a secret called API secret, and I'm going to be mounting that volume onto this path. Okay, and this is actually a pod that is based on a busybox image, and then name of the container and the pod itself is busybox. So let's go ahead and apply this YAML file, and then let me go ahead and attach to this pod over here. So I'm attached to this pod, and I'm gonna just do ls minus l on this path, because if this is working as expected, which it is, you're going to see a config file in this path. And if I read it, it basically shows the information that we saw before. So this information is available in this pod for consumption. Okay, so that's basically it. That's all I wanted to show you. So this is sort of like a lukewarm way to hide your sensitive information. And that's it. I hope you found it useful. Thank you.